their mail or to check their updates. And you can see from the... Hi.
Sorry.
No, welcome. You can see from the top 10 sites that Facebook is up there with a massive growth from May 2008 of around the 1,500,000 mark to May 09 when it hits 23,860,000 percentage, which is a massive, which is a 53% change. So Facebook massively on the increase in the UK. It is our favourite social networking service. Other services down there, Bebo's losing traffic, MySpace losing traffic, Twitter gaining very significantly, but still very small. So those of you who don't know or don't use Twitter, Twitter's a kind of microblogging service where you post messages out. So it's a social networking service in a very different way from something like Facebook, where content and activity is organised around a profile. But Twitter is smaller than the most popular social gaming site on Facebook, Farmville, which has got a huge amount of people logging in every day, checking their crops, fertilising their digital fields, and growing their carrots. It's a very fun game. And so on the list goes. This graphic here is Hitwise again, but this was used. This is taken from an animation that was used by the BBC Digital Revolution programme. If any of you saw that recently, and it's much more dynamic and whizzy on their website, and they have some fabulous resources on their website too. So if you haven't checked that out, go and check that out. But this shows the stats for UK visits September 2009. Anybody want to guess what the biggest bubble is?
Google.
Yeah, Google. Second biggest? Facebook. Get a prize if you get the last one. Okay, alright, that one. Windows Live Mail. Okay, so this kind of illustrates this is of the top 30 UK sites and shows kind of the traffic between them, which is also quite significant because it's quite a closed world. This is only the top 30 sites, but the top 100 sites in the UK actually account for 42.3% of all UK traffic. So there's a lot of common activity going on and a lot of common experience of the kinds of sites that we visit. Okay, so what's changing? This is a couple of things. There's many things changing. Change is always happening. But these are a few things that I've picked out for today that are kind of critical for this area that we're looking at. So there's this shift in the mainstream from geeky people being online to it being quite nerdy or quite weird to actually everybody being online and everybody talking to their families and all of the trouble about your mum being online, your nan being online, and who to friend in Facebook and all those kind of issues. The mainstreaming availability of network connected devices. Yes, we do have a digital divide in this country. Yes, we do have issues when it comes to network, and we do have issues when it comes to affordability. But our biggest issue in terms of getting people online is by far people don't see the point. That's always identified as the most important reason why people aren't online, because they don't understand what the benefits are to them. But we've got a mainstream of those, especially mobile, so it's easier to connect to what's on there. And linked into this, especially with the rise of mobile access, is the rise of presence and geographical indicators. Okay, and these are things like presence will be things like I'm online at this point or I'm in communication. So there's lots of services that will have updates. We've got Twitter, which is a whole site based around kind of updates of where we are, but we also have kind of status updates you're really familiar with for nearly every kind of service you use, so Facebook, Bebo. So there is a kind of an attention loop there in terms of reward. So the services that you use reward you for paying attention to them by giving you information that is maybe not constantly but frequently updated. And there is a massive rise in geographic indicators and the use of geolocation. I'm going to talk about some geolocation services later on. So what are we doing online? This is a slide about some civic-minded people letting us know how drunk they are before they go to work in the morning. Okay, so this is just a screenshot that I took from Twitter by typing in the word drunk, and this is a very small sample. There's many, many pages of people telling me that they're going to work drunk and they're going to school drunk and they're doing other things drunk. So from this, the reason why I'm showing this slide is to kind of set up this premise is that, and to ask really, are we kind of mindful about what it is that we are putting online about ourselves and what it is that we're, how we're representing ourselves. This is a story, again, this is quite old now, this is June 2008. This was one of the first of these stories, but there's been many, many very similar ones since, where the Central Scotland Police managed to, basically they went on Bebo, they looked for evidence of underage drinking, drug dealing and assaults, and then they went round to 182 different people's houses to visit them as a result of stuff that they had put on their public Bebo profiles that were there for anybody to see. And very interesting from this, I think, one of the interesting things about this is that 72 vulnerable person reports were also filed from that activity, which is very interesting in terms of how we deal with vulnerable populations and how young people are also using social networks to kind of talk about what they're going through, maybe not in explicit ways. One of my friends is currently doing some very interesting work looking at online social work, outreach within social networking sites, which is a really interesting area, I think. Okay, and this is what we're doing in social networks, or a very flip example. Janice is single. Janice is listed as single. Jared, you and Dad's divorced? Janice, I forgot to mention that to you. This is from Facebook. So Janice obviously changed her profile information. Hi, changed her profile information, but forgot to first tell her son. So is this kind of indicative of the kinds of ways that we're using social media? There's many, many stories around about people losing their jobs and other kind of things. But is this where we are at the moment? This is another couple of screenshots, and why I've used this is to kind of talk about the ways in which, when I first went online, the people that I was talking to, the friends that I was making, they were in Canada, they were in New Zealand, they were kind of in other parts of the UK, because not that many people that I knew were online, not that many people that shared my interests were online. But increasingly now, your whole street will be online. These are screenshots of wireless networks that somebody's picked up, and these are people sending messages to their neighbours using their wireless networking names. So this is, please no more grindcore at 3 AM. Grindcore is not a sexual practice, it's a musical genre, by the way. But these people over here, we can hear you having sex. They're letting their neighbours know through their Wi-Fi network. So I like this slide because it's interesting in the way